in yesterday's class, we discussed about what is properties and what is indexes. So both are clear, right? Any questions from anyone? Okay, then let's move to next concept, that is called exception handling. So this is a little important. So add okay. What is this exception handling? Static void main. So exception handling means generally when we are writing some programs, we are getting so many types of errors. So these errors are categorized into three types. One is compile time error. Second one is a runtime error. Third one is logical error. Compile time errors, runtime errors, logical errors. Total, we are having three types of errors are there. So first, if you take compile time errors, these are the errors which are going to come at compile time. That means many of you already face these errors. Even in our sessions also, when we are practicing, we are whatever errors we are getting, those are called as compile time errors. Compile time errors are the errors which are going to come at compile time. At compile time, we are going to get all these compile time errors. So based on that, whatever errors are there, based on that, we are going to resolve those issues. But these are very clear because semicolon missing, double quotes, or variable declaration, or without initializing value, everything in compile time clearly it will show. Without resolving these compile time errors, you can't run this program. Without resolving these compile time errors, we can't run the program. Okay. Second one is called as runtime errors. What is runtime errors? Runtime errors are the errors which will get at runtime. That means when you are running, for you, you are not getting that error. But when I am running, then I am getting the error. That means when we are giving some wrong values, then these runtime errors are raised. When we are giving some wrong input, then these runtime errors will be raised. So these errors very rarely means who is going to resolve means as a developer we have to resolve, because we means suppose see enter any two numbers. So everyone will test that application like by giving two numbers, output is coming or not. No, instead of two numbers, if I gave two characters, how it is going to respond, that is called as runtime error. That means program at my end, everything is working fine. Then when I move to production, then at runtime, I'm getting these errors. These are very dangerous errors. Why? See, whatever programs, all these things are there, they are going to behave how you wrote. Suppose one robot is there, that robot will do all the functionalities, whatever we had designed. But in that robot, I didn't wrote a functionality. If suddenly, if any fire or anything happen, how it should behave, then will it know how it should behave? No. It sometimes it may behave in a different way, or sometimes it will be like that ideal only. Same thing, runtime errors. So we have to identify what type of runtime errors may cause in that program, and we have to give solutions by using exception handling concept. Ma'am, why you are saying these are dangerous errors? See, how you have to behave, I'm not saying. In that case, your application will behave in a different way. Sometimes it will shows connection strings, or sometimes it will shows the code, whatever you had written, all those things are going to be done. Those are very, very risky things for our application, because hacker can easily understand what code you had written or what is your database connection, like that. That's why always runtime handling is very, very important. Third one is called as logical errors. Logical errors are the errors which is going to raise when you wrote logic wrongly. That means I asked you read two numbers and print the product of the two numbers, but output is coming addition of the two numbers. Whose mistake is this? Developer's mistake. They have to, means all these three developer have to resolve, but this logic errors and this compile time errors clearly we can see when you are executing the program, but runtime errors, no. If anyone giving wrong values, then these are going to raise. As a developer, upfront you have to analyze those issues and you have to write the solutions also. Console applications, it's not a problem, but web applications and all, without handling runtime exceptions, if you wrote some code, they will reject that. Okay, so let's see how to do that. So let's see one scenario, how we are getting runtime exceptions. Console.writeLine, enter any two numbers, int a equal to convert dot to int 32 of result equal to C. It is showing the output result there. Okay, now everything is done. Let's go to exception handling demo 1. Enter any two numbers. It is showing some response. Okay, now again I'm running. See, first output is showing properly whatever values I'm giving, and the second number, it is showing the result. Everything is working fine. Now let's see wrong values. It is asking enter any two numbers, but I gave, this is also number, right? I gave little long value. See, one runtime exception raised. Here, this is a console application. Because of that reason, it is not showing the code properly, but clearly in which line it is, what is the error, everything it is showing. And if you observe, it is started, means it stopped working our application. So here, maybe our application is there. That's why you can close the screen. You can go back to your application and you can correct that. But if it is moved to production, in that production servers, this code is available? No, right? In that case, it will behave in a different way. So what is the error it is showing? Overflow exception. Keep remember all these things. And then again I'm running. See, program is there. That's why it's coming back to program and it is showing where the error is. Again, I'm giving some other. This time I'm giving characters. See, this time one more. Format exception raised. Input string was not in the correct format. But whether a common man can understand this program, or if you call your brother or your child, if you show this, will they explain, will they understand? No, right? So this is another type of error. Or again I'm running another error. See, in this simple 5 lines of code, as of now 3 errors we are getting. Imagine if you take our bank application, how many errors we may get, right? So all these things you should handle properly. So either if you want to handle everything in under one or multiple subblocks, both are same. So let's see how to work with that. So always, if you want to work with exception handling, 3 keywords are mandatory. Try, catch. First 2 keywords are mandatory. Either try, catch or try finally. Okay. So whatever code you are suspecting, all the code you have to put under try block. Whatever code you are suspecting, all the code. That means, ma'am, this is also means no, this is not required, because enter any 2 numbers in that, what will be the error? You won't get, right? Even this is also not required, but the C declared. Let me declare the C outside. Int C. Because if you declare the C variable inside the try, that will become as a block scope. Even printing that values also, it's not an issue. Right? I'm printing outside. Okay. So whatever code you are suspecting that there may be an issue raised, that code you are putting in try block. And if you are giving a try, then expected catch or finally. That means if you are giving try means either catch or finally you have to give. Either catch or finally you have to give. Otherwise it's throwing error. It will throw error. So here I'm giving catch exception ex, or no, sorry, not exception. What is the error? Overflow exception, right? Overflow exception ex. So in this try, under this try block, there is a chance of getting overflow exception just before we had seen. So that overflow exception class I wrote inside that catch block, and whatever error message is there, that error messages I'm showing. In the same way, what are the other errors we got? Catch divide by 0 error, ex, and console.writeLine ex dot message. So see, you are not, you also a developer only. You can't remember all the errors, or you can't guess all the errors. Whatever errors you are guessing, that you can give like this by giving multiple catch blocks. But there may be a situation that you may get some other error messages also. You may get some other error messages also. So if you want to handle that also, always after writing all your exceptions at end, give exception base class also. Why? Because whatever exceptions you are writing here, whatever overflow exception or divide by 0 exception or format exception or index out of range exception, for all these exceptions, the base class is exception class. So either if you want to handle each exception individually, then well and good, you can do that. No, ma'am, I can't handle each exception individually means you can give catch exception. This is going to handle all the errors. Now go back. Now if you observe here, try block, inside I'm giving something, catch block, inside I'm writing all this, means whatever individually if you want to handle the error, you can handle that. But see, you can't even individually handling also 2 or 3 you can guess, but all you can't guess. That's why safe side, after giving all your own exceptions, means all your predefined exceptions, then safe side give base class also. So suppose in this format exception is not there. If format exception is raised, here separate catch block is not there for format exception, then this exception is going to handle, because this exception class is a parent for all the exception classes. Like how object is the parent for all types, in the same way exception is the base class for all the exception class. Then ma'am, I don't want to handle separately like this. Can I give only this? Yes, in real time scenarios and all, we will give only this only, because we are going to write, each method contains 100 to 200 lines of code. In that, what errors will get, how can we know? Some means we can guess, but not everything, right? That's why safe side we will put this only. Even if you want to maintain this also, no problem. Ma'am, if this exception is handling all the errors, then why this? Suppose if your client is saying that if you got divide by zero, again go and ask the values. If your client is saying for this specific error, go and ask again the values. In that case, you have to write like this. Then let me show that also. I'm putting one label, LAB, some label, or if you are confusing, I will put some other name, Mahesh. Okay, some label name I'm putting. Now, after showing this message, go to Mahesh or anything, whatever name you want to give, you can give. So that label name, where it is there, it will goes back and it will ask the values again. That too, in which situation? If you got divide by zero error only, but overflow exception or format exception, any exception, simply it will show the error message. So if your client is asking, if you got this error, do this work, like that, if your client is saying something, then separately you have to handle the catch blocks. Otherwise, this is enough. It is going to do all the work. Let me run this. I'm going to do all the mistakes, whatever earlier I had done. This is format exception. See, input string was not in the correct format. Result equal to 0. Okay. Then run. I am giving lengthy value. Value was either too large or too small for int32. Result equal to 0. Now again I'm running. Second value I'm giving 0. Attempt to divide by 0. Or please try again, something we can give. So now you are getting the result. Okay, see, divide by 0 is behaving differently other than those two. So if it is the case, then we are going to write our own code like this. Any questions you people can ask? This is very important. Going forward for web applications and all, this is very, very useful. Clear? All are silent.
Ma'am, can we give our own messages?
That I will tell you. If you want to give your own error messages, you don't want that error messages, instead of ex.message, here I'm giving, just to understand that ABCD, something I'm giving, whether it's coming or not to check, overflow exception, right? So overflow means lengthy value. See, ABCD. We can give our own. You want both means, yes, that is also possible. Here you can give ex dot message, then after that. So when I'm giving little lengthy, value is either too large or too small for int32 and ABCD. Okay.
Ma'am, that ex dot message, that message, where is it, ma'am? Where did you write? Where is it taking when you say dot message?
Now, yes, I will show that. Before that, anyone tell me what is this message? Anyone, whether it is a method or a constructor or a property or an index or what that message is. Okay, one more question. Read line is what? Anyone? Is it method, constructor, or what?
Method.
Method.
Yes, very good. How you are saying this is a method? Because this name ending like this, it's there. Obviously, that will be a method only. Okay. Now tell me, what is this message? Okay, I will place mouse also for you.
Property.
Which type of property?
Set. Get property.
Get property means what? That is read only or write only or what?
Read only.
Yes, very good. It's a read only property, right? So you can see that also. It's a read only property, and in which class it is? In exception class it is. So the next concept in inheritance, I will tell this, but what I said about this, for overflow exception, for divide by zero exception, for format exception, for index out of range exception, like that, for so many exceptions, the base class is exception class. Okay, let's go to F12. See, in this exception class, if you observe, this is message. This is a read-only property. Because all these things are children of that exception class, all these children are able to call that message. All these children are able to call that message. Okay, keep remember, this message or many things are there. All those things are coming from your base class. That means exception class. Okay, so the advantage of inheritance is that only. Creating a parent and child. Suppose, see, suppose for you, you joined in job and you start earning the money. But imagine everything from scratch you have to do means it will take some time to set up your house or car or some properties. If you want to set up, it will take some time, right or wrong. But something, if your parents are already given to you, that will be a little advantage, so that there is no need to start from scratch, because already something is there with you. On top of that, suppose your father is giving a beautiful plot to you, then you no need to purchase the plot. If it is good, then you start construction there. That means what? Some of the thing your parent is giving, so that your life become little easy, not complete but little easy. And whatever goals you are trying to achieve, that you can achieve little shortly, right? Same thing here. So this exception base class is having all the properties and methods and constructors. And because that exception base class is providing all those things, these children's life becomes so easy. Okay, in detail, inheritance is the heart of OOPS concept. So only inheritance topic itself will take five days. Okay, that I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So like this we are going to write. So no questions, right? I'm moving to next. Suppose, so try and catch both we are giving. What is finally block? What is finally block? Keep remember. And one more important, ma'am, this console.writeLine is there, right? Can we put this console.writeLine in between this? No. Try and catch between. You should not put any single statement also. Try and catch between. You shouldn't put any single statement also. So this is not the correct practice. Then where you can put means you can put in finally block. So what is this finally is going to do means whether issue is there or issue is not there. In both cases, finally code is going to execute. Issue is there or issue is not there. In both cases, finally block code is going to execute. That means what? So result equal to I can give here. Otherwise, I will put some message. Console.writeLine. Good day. Something is there. Now run. enter any two numbers, 56 2. Say good day and result equal to 28. It is showing properly. Now again I'm running Control F5. I'm giving some wrong values. I'm giving some wrong values here. What is happening? Value is okay. Value is too large or too small for int 32. Some own exception message I had given. Good day and that means what is meant by finally block? Whether we are getting an issue or if we are not getting an issue, in both cases finally block whatever is there, that code is going to execute. Finally block inside whatever code is there, that code it is going to execute. Okay, so ma'am, is it mandatory? Because earlier also result we had given outside it is showing, means in this area it's not required, but when you are working with ADO.NET and all, then finally block is mandatory. So keep remember what is meant by finally block means whether we are getting issue or not. That means how it is going to work. I will put in a comment. Try. This is if issue is there, then try after catch after finally. Like this it will work. And if issue is not there, then first try, after that finally will work. Okay, in any case finally code is going to execute. In any case finally code is going to execute. Clear finally block or any questions? Okay.
Ma'am, if there is no issue, we can directly print now.
That's what I'm saying. Finally, it won't useful for now, but later when we are working with ADO.NET, at that time we are using.
Okay.
That's why I said keep remember. Later I'm going to use this finally block.
And one more thing is like you've given divide by zero exception, all these things. If there is an exception, isn't it?
Sorry, come again. Your voice is breaking.
I wore a mask. Okay. If there is an error, directly we are going to see the same error message. No, ma'am. What is it doing then? Is it for a secured way? Why are we catching that error?
Which one? Divide by zero. Separately.
Yeah, anything like divide by zero, or before that there are some other exceptions which you have given. If there is an error, immediately we are going to get that exception.
Using exception class.
Okay.
Using this class, we are getting that. Means what I understand is using this exception class, anyway we are getting that error message. Then what is the use of this, you are asking, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose I'm commenting this. Then if I ask, if you got divide by zero error, then go back and ask the values again. How do you do that? How will you do that? So that's what I'm saying. When these, see, if I'm running the program, all are working fine. Earlier, how it worked, everything. But only the divide by zero, my own means again you have to ask like that I wrote, right? This type of code is little difficult in this. I'm not saying it's not possible, but you have to write huge lines of code. Instead of that, if I give catch, this, if I uncheck this, Control KU. If I uncheck this, then what will happen? If divide by zero, then this work will do. Other than divide by zero, any other error, this catch is going to do. Okay, like that, if you want to write our own logic, instead of showing the error message, then individual catch blocks are going to work. Otherwise, this is enough. Okay.
I'm just trying to understand, like when you're catching, what is happening? Why are we doing? Just to show the message?
No, obviously. Suppose,
is it for showing the message?
Yes, just for, see, we can't resolve anything in this runtime exception.
Okay.
Now I will tell one scenario. You go, suppose through ATM you want to withdraw the amount. Okay, let me, I will tell how critical this is.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose in ATM, you place you put your ATM card. Okay. Then immediately what it will ask, please enter your by mistake the developer had given, please enter your number, like that he gave. Okay, I don't know whether it is a PIN number, I don't know whether it is account number. Okay, and whatever variable I'm going to capture, that int PIN I had given, otherwise 4-digit PIN number only. I declared this variable as short PIN equal to convert dot to int 16 of console dot read line. So this is very genuine, right? Everything is working fine. So if PIN is going to verify in database, if PIN is equivalent to DB PIN, then I'm going to show the next screen. Otherwise, I'm showing else. I'm going to show console.writeLine invalid PIN. Like this, the developer wrote. See, this is very straightforward and easily understand. Only one small message he forgot to give, and please enter your PIN number. He gave like this. So many times I had done with different types of ATMs. So obviously I know if it is asking some number means obviously that is a PIN number. So I will enter my 4-digit PIN number. Then when you people have to, means some of you, for example, Shrija entered account number because nowhere it's a clarity. So some account number, 15-digit or some number she entered. Now no exception handling is there. Now one exception raised, because in short variable it can't store this much of lengthy value, right? One exception raised. But for that exception, how to respond, you didn't wrote in your program. Now that ATM machine is not having this type of program. That ATM machine is not having. To show the exception, how to respond, it don't know. So what will happen? Simply it will keeps that card inside and it won't do any functionality and the whole system will struck. See, whose mistake is this? This small mistake. Even if you ask enter your PIN number, some people maybe they don't know, some older person, they don't know this PIN number properly. So they gave this number. Where you handled that issue? You are not handled as a developer, you are not handled that issue properly. Because of that reason, see, you are not able to get even it raise some runtime exception also, it's not a problem. But my card is inside. Can you leave the card as it is and you can go? No. Till the bank people came, you have to wait there because you can't leave that card as it is, right? So this is the criticality of runtime exception. This is one very means nowadays in ATM machines we are not having this. Almost all ATM machine programs are well designed. But earlier days, if you take 10 years before and all, whatever application is there in that ATM, that application is having huge number of. Nowadays also in India, many small companies are facing this issue, but very rare case. Sometimes your card will block, or sometimes the whole ATM machine will shut down. Why it is shut down, we don't know. We may not understanding this criticality because the program is with you. But if you take any website or if you take any ATM machine projects and all, anything if you take, if any error came, runtime error came, and if the developer not handled properly, they will behave in a different way based on what the application type is. If it is embedded application, it will behave in a different way. Or if it is a console or Windows application, they will behave in a different way. If it is web application, they will behave in a different way. Because the solution you are not saying, if you are not saying the solution, what it should do. So same thing, if you, instead of this, now if you put try block, And inside this try block, you wrote all this code, whatever else part, everything is there, you wrote all this code. And in catch block, you had given overflow exception, overflow exception, and overflow exception EX. Overflow exception EX, something you had given. Now, inside this, you are, instead of blocking the card, it is showing, please enter your valid PIN number, 4-digit valid PIN number. Or like that, if you had given the error message here, the end user clearly know what mistake they had done. Is it clear now? Priority
Very
of...
clear, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, try catch, finally, all these things are good. Then sometimes, see, these overflow exception, divide by zero exception, all these exceptions are someone created and we are using. Sometimes we have to raise our own exception. We have to raise our own exception, means these exceptions are not matching my requirement. In that case, I can create my own exception. How to create my own exception? By using throw keyword, we can create. Let's see how to do that. I am going to add one more class, exception handling demo2. Static void main. See, this is also completely depends upon our requirement. So let's go back and I will copy. Now, try and catch I had given. Catch exception EX. And console.writeLine. I'm showing the error message. And in finally block, I'm going to show this result also. When outside also, if you want, you can put. No, not here. Finally, I had given some output. Now everything is good. But now my program, everything I wrote well. Now my client asked, when we are doing division, both numbers should be positive. This is one requirement. And divide number, that means B variable, should be even number. These are the two requirements, because in my whole solution, wherever I'm going to do divided by, then these two rules should applicable. See, in general, we are not having these rules. Suppose, let me go to properties, exception handling to run. If I'm giving minus 45, 5, it is showing the result. Or even if I'm giving odd value also, it is showing the result. In general, that is not wrong. But for my application, that is wrong. For my application, that is wrong. How to handle that? So these are not user-defined exceptions, right? After reading this, two ways are there. This I'm going to handle using application exception. And this I'm going to handle by creating a new exception class. Let's see how to do. After reading A and B values, see, earlier here, when you got an issue, Suppose if I'm giving a value as very bigger like this, then what here it's happened means it's happened new overflow exception. Means it creates an instance of that class. It creates when you gave this much of higher value, then what will happen internally? It will create a new overflow exception. This try is going to throws that exception, means try is going to throws that exception to catch. So in catch, what it will do, if any overflow exception class is there or not, it will check. So in this, it's not there because that is commented. It's not there. Then it will check whether exception base class is there or not. It will check. If it is there, how it is going to do means exception ex is equal to new overflow exception. New overflow exception. This is very powerful concept called runtime polymorphism or late binding. Okay, I will discuss that in inheritance concept, but base class object equal to derived class method. So then you are calling here, we are calling overflow exception message property message. That means this message property is an exception class only. But what message I want to show, that I had written in this class. If you go to this overflow exception or divide by zero exception, there is no message separately. See, there is no message separately. But this is inheriting from arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception is inheriting from system exception. System exception is inheriting from exception. This exception is having this message. But what message I have to show, that I had written in this overflow exception or divide by zero exception only. So when the try is going to throw this object, when the try is going to try, what here try is going to throw? Try will throw an instance of that error. So first it will check any catch block is going to handle or any catch block is going to have that instance related class. If it is there, directly it will comes there. If it is not there, your base class exception is going to handle. Now, new overflow exception, here we got that. Okay. Now come back to this. Here what I'm doing, after reading A and B values, if A is less than 0 and B is less than 0, not and or. If A is less than 0 or B is less than 0, then throw. But ma'am, here throw is not there, means here this is a predefined exception. This is a predefined exception. So you manually, you no need to throw. You manually, you no need to throw. Try is going to do that. See, try will throw a new instance of that error. Try will throw an instance of that error. Same thing here, I am going to do. Throw new application exception of both numbers should be positive. That's it, over. Now run. If I'm giving minus 45 and 5, see, both numbers should be positive. So why I used throw keyword here means because your try block don't know. Your try block don't know that in this situation you have to raise an error. Why? In general, this is not a wrong. In general, if it is wrong, then only try will automatically throw that. If it is not, then manually using throw keyword, you have to raise the exception. Like this, this is what? This is user defined exception. This is very, very simple way to create that. Clear or any questions? Again, I'm saying from today onwards, whatever I'm saying, not today, oops onwards, whatever I'm saying, all are very important. Once you start attending the first interview, then you will understand the priority of all these concepts. Okay, so please go through with all these things and practice once. This exception handling and indexes notes I have to send, I will send. Okay, in notes nothing, only theory concept will be there. Main thing is practical only. Okay,
Sindhu,
Mm.
yeah, if you are using the throw concept, so is it required a catch also in the same time?
No, base class is going to do all that work. You don't need to handle separately. That is the beauty of this. That is the beauty of runtime polymorphism.
Okay, and finally also is not required, right?
Finally, if you want, I didn't remove, right? I had. Finally, if you want, you will keep. Means even issue raised also, after that, if you want to do some work, then you can give. Okay?
Okay.
Others, I think everything is clear. Okay, tomorrow one more way is there by creating a new exception class. How to do that I will tell in tomorrow's session. Okay. Okay then. Bye all of you. Thank you.